want to say?
Verse 16.
So just to let everyone know here, we are at Radha Madhusudan's ashram at Sumandira Mataji's place. So we have Mahavasu Prabhu, Vinay Prabhu, Kunal Prabhu, Sumandira Mataji, Rupam Prabhu, and Vijay Mataji. So Mahavasu Prabhu is saying something about verse 16. Otherwise, they don't know who's speaking, where we are.
So in this verse, it is explained that the side of Arjuna's side, when they are explaining about the mighty arm warriors who have assembled there, and it's like because before that Duryodhana was explaining his side of the army. So on this verse, it's been explained as to the parties were on Yudhishthira and Arjuna's side.
Probably we go up on the Sastri. Someone else would like to say another thing what we discussed here?
So in this, particularly in the translation, also mentioned that it talks about the conscience of Yudhishthira Maharaj, of course, and that is the Ananta Vijaya.
Yeah.
And Raja is, of course, is referring to Yudhishthira Maharaj himself. And then the others conscience also mentioned, like Sughosha, Manipushpaka, they are the conscience of Sadeva and Sadeva and Nakula. And then one more important word which is mentioned about Satiki, who is also mentioned as Yudhana.
Yep.
And in the translation it says Aparajita, he was never undefeated. So like that itself elaborates the mighty army of Yudhishthira, the Pandavas, in the sense that they are also very strong, not just the Kaurava side.
Thank you. I think we can move to the next one. Lots of names there, which we all know. We'll not read the verse, we'll just pick up few points. We'll not read verse of the translation. Vinay Prabhu, would you like to say something about this verse? Just main points, what we discussed last week.
Okay.
What's the significance? What's the relation?
So this verse is says like very, very big sound, growing different portions become. So vibrating both in the sky and earth, it shattered the heart of Jigras. Actually, the thing is this sound vibration there is like comes here. The visual is Lord Shankar is like very powerful, and
that's good.
So
that's the main word. Just shattered the hearts of the sons of the Rashtra. So that's the main key point we can take. Now, when Bhishma Pitama blew the conch shell, it says he's most elderly one, but no effect was made. But now, when they made their conch shells noise, you can see the effect of that. That shows another signs of victory.
The translation Prabhuji mentions like due to the Pandavas and their confidence in Krishna, one who takes the shelter of Supreme Lord has nothing to fear, even in the midst of the greatest.
That's right. Yeah. So devotee is always abhay, fearless. But his fearlessness is based on what? He's not foolish. Fearlessness should not be equivalent to a foolishness. Like we are walking in the middle of the road, M5. I can cross M5. I'm Krishna's devotee. No, it's not foolishness. Fearlessness is based on solid facts that Krishna is with me. Now, that's a general thing. When Krishna showed his Virat Roop to Arjuna, Arjuna never said to Krishna, now you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, now you fight, but why you want me to fight? I'll go and sleep. No, we have to do our duty as per the intelligence given by Krishna. And then Krishna will give the protection. Many times we fail. Either we give everything to God or we give nothing to God. All glories to me, right? I have done it. What God has done? Where is God? Or we say, God will do everything. जैसा कराएंगे वैसा करेंगे. जब वो बुलाएंगे तब मंदिर जाएंगे. Whenever he will call me, I'll go to temple. No, God is not saying that. And we can see that here. So devotee is fearless, but based on his association with the God, his dependence on the Lord, not because of his laziness on the Lord. Huh? Okay, next one. Smita Mata, you were there last week?
Yes, I was. I'll read translation.
Don't need to read the translation, Mataji. We'll just say a few key points and we'll move forward.
So in this one, Arjuna is requesting Krishna to.
Okay, that's fine.
Because I got my phone on the right track.
Whatever possible.
Okay.
It's just for the benefit of the devotees on the Zoom.
So Arjuna is requesting Krishna to take the chariot in the middle so he can see the parties, other party as well. And then Krishna is Krishna is Bhagwan, but he's still following his instructions and taking the chariot in the middle so that Arjuna can see the other party.
Yes.
So the Krishna is Bhakta.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. So here Arjuna is making two requests. Senior Ubhyor Madhye Ratham Sthapay Me Achyut. And what does Achyut mean?
Never fails.
Never fails in what?
In keeping his word.
In keeping his words, and never falls from his position. It's not today the president of this country is A, tomorrow will be B. Now Krishna's position, Supreme Personality of Godhead, will always be there. It was there. He was the SPOG. He will be Supreme Personality of Godhead forever. And he never fails to fulfill the promise which he has made to his devotee. He can even break his own words, but he will never break the promise which he has made to his devotee. So now, what promise he has made to his devotee? I'll be a chariot driver. No? Now he's not questioning like, "Are you ordering me? I am acting as a chariot driver. It doesn't mean I have become chariot driver. You can't order me." No questions asked. It says, actually, I've heard in some lecture when Arjun was in the battlefield after all this, Bhagavad Gita, it says the Sarthi, or the chariot driver, which is Krishna in this case, and Arjun is the riding that chariot. You don't have time to tell your chariot driver that go left and go right. You know how they say? That's what I've heard, with the legs. So he was hitting Krishna on a particular spot, I don't know, left or right. So Sarthi understands what my Raja wants, what my king wants. So Arjun, you can imagine the situation of Arjun, is hitting Krishna, left or right. And Krishna is following it. And it says every day when Arjun will finish the war, finish his duties, he will go back home. Krishna will get down from the chariot first. He will open the door for Arjun, and Arjun will come down. It's like a driver. And who is this? The Supreme Personality of Godhead. So when he assumes the position of a servant, he assumes the position of servant. It's not like sometimes, he may follow the instruction. No, he says he will touch the feet of Kunti Mata all the time. Because in the relation, human relation, they were like that. So Krishna never said, "Oh, Mata, now you have recognized after Kunti Maharani appears, I'm the Supreme Personality of Godhead. What's the need for me to touch your feet?" No. And Krishna in the Rajasuya Yagya, you know what service Krishna was doing? Two services Krishna was doing.
Serving and collecting the
remnants.
Jutha plate. Huh?
Yes.
So actually it says he was arranging the shoes as well. Serving in Jutha plate is one sort of seva, so serving obviously. So he was picking up the Jutha plates of all the guests who have come here. And all the guests were aware of it, that he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because before the Yagya, the Agra Puja was done. So in front of lakhs and lakhs of people, he was told, he was established as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, formally as well, by Yudhishthira Maharaj and Pandavas, formally. And all the Shishpal Vadan had happened, right? Is still after that, he's coming down. Just imagine, if you were made a president of this country, will you step down? Prabhuji, I'm the president, so how can I? Better you go. So this is Krishna. This is why his name Achyut is so nice. It's so nice. Whatever he says, he follows. He has no ego. We have a lot of ego. He's the Bhagwan, but he's doing the menial service of his servant because he has promised. I will assume the role of chariot driver. He assumes the role of chariot driver. No questions asked. Why? When? Where? Arey, dimag kharab ho gaya hai. Why are you doing like that? No. He is my Raja. When Raja will ask, then I will respond. Unless, and that's why you'll see in the second chapter, it says many times we give free advices. Even Krishna didn't give free advice. He was asked by Arjun seriously, and then only he gave advice. And we think we are very good. Huh? Anyone comes with any problem, we immediately tells the solution. What's your authority? What's your adhikar? Huh? What's your relation with that person? We just give out the solutions like that. Even Krishna is not giving the solution. Unless he surrendered, he was serious. No, you please guide me now. I don't know what to do. Then he started. And we become the guru of everyone. Many times at least. Huh? No, we should not. We have no adhikar. Adhikar as well as qualification. So adhikar in terms of relation and qualification in terms of our eligibility. Huh? How much we know. Okay. Okay, next one. We already got. So next one, Vijaya Mataji. So we are on verse 23. Vijaya Mataji may explain few words. Yes, Mataji. Yotsemanan Veksheham Ya Ete Samagata Dhartrasya Durbudher Yuthe Priya Chikirshavah. Now, one word I forgot, I just remembered in the previous verse, in the verse 22nd, one important. So, two requests he made to Krishna. He said, take my chariot in the middle of the armies so that there are two reasons. Huh? So, take my chariot so that I can see them. That seeing is very important. Huh? And we were counting. Huh? Or there are different variations of the similar word has been used. And the similar thing we are getting here. So I think last time we counted 5 or 6 occurrences of the similar word. So here also is their second occurrence, or maybe third.
In this verse, Arjuna is after the 22nd verse. Here, in this verse, he is actually clarifying his purpose of the which that he ordered Krishna. Like, let me see those who have come here to fight and wishing to please the evil-minded son of Dhritarashtra.
Yes.
So he's stating the purpose of why he has asked Krishna to take the chariot in the middle of the war, so he can see
All
who
of
has
them,
little came there and clarifying the purpose.
Yeah.
And one more thing you added was
Yes.
that in this verse, Krishna follows the instructions of Arjuna as it is. That was very
Yeah, that Mataji already said that. Oh, yeah. One more important thing in this verse. Look at the Sanskrit or English, Durbudhe. Durbudhe refers to he's upset actually. Huh? When we say, no, foolish person, from Prabhupada called rascals. Huh? Very loving affection, but Prabhupada called rascals. Huh? So here we say Durbudhe. What that says Durbudhe refers to? Arjuna is like, you are Durbudhe, you have no intelligence. Right? Prabhupada writes here, evil-minded son of Dhritarashtra. They are evil-minded. That shows his upset. So till now, he is not emotional at all. He's upset, angry. He's very powerful, very, very powerful. Kshatriya. It's an evil mind. I just want to check it out, He already know who are there, but still you want to just see. Really, Yuddhe Priya Chikirshavah? You are really here to fight? Let me check it out. So he's angry. So you can see the mood of Arjun, and then the mood will change. Huh? Okay, next one. 24, verse 24, maybe Rupa Prabhu can say. This is a very nice verse.
The role is Krishna just follows the order of Arjuna as stated within the boundaries. So as Arjun asks him to take the chariot in between the two armies where I can see, he does exactly the same thing. And one of the examples that you quoted last time is, let's say if you have to go to OIT Falcon Street. He does say that I need to go to OIT Street. Why, what, that is, it's not.
Because that's his job. You are on a Uber, for example, or some sort of hired car. He shouldn't, if there's none of your business, what route do I take? Okay, what else in this verse?
points that you discussed on this
Okay.
verse. One was the word Rishikesha,
Rishikesh?
Krishna.
Yeah.
Then Gudakesha, that is about Arjuna. And the third one was that is the finest.
Okay.
3 points we discussed.
Good.
And in purport, Prabhupada says Gudakesha. Gudakesha means sleep, and one who has conquered sleep is called as Gudakesha. And Rishikesha is the master of the senses. So when a person surrenders to the master of the senses, then he can have sense control. And that's why, because Arjuna was surrendered to Krishna, that's why he actually had the power to controlled his senses and he was able to control over the sleep.
Thank you. Very nice. Very nice. So Guda means sleep and Isha means controller of the sleep. Are we Gudakesh? We are Guda Das. I am. So whenever.
One more for the same meaning.
Yes.
You were telling that sweet like jaggery.
Yes, yes. I was just coming to it. Please tell
Brahma
Mataji.
and Shiva. And
Yes. So can you break the word, Mataji?
Guda is jaggery.
Good. Yeah. Good. Jaggery.
And
Ka
is Brahma,
and Sha.
Shiva.
Shiva. Isha, which is Shiva. Yeah. So Ka and Sha, which is Brahmaji and Shivji. Guda means so one who gives jaggery like sweetness to even Lord Brahma and Shiva. And who is this? Now this is not referring to Arjuna now, it is referring to the Lord himself. Who tells this meaning? Vishwanath Chakravarti tells this meaning. And because he is more sort of Rasik Acharya. He extracts the rasa of Bhagavad Gita. And you'll see at many places how the commentaries of Baldev Vidyabhushan and Vishwanath Chakravarti sort of differs. They're not differing. It's just, a rasa is there. This is rasa. Direct meaning, as Prabhupada writes, is Arjuna, obviously. So that's nice. So he gives, why he is giving sweetness to Brahmaji and Shivji at this stage? What's the explanation?
They're both watching the battle and they're saying he's the master of us and he's now the servant of Arjuna.
And he's following the order of Arjuna, isn't it? So that's like amazing, a president of a country becomes a driver of his friend, for example. And then he follows the order, like, wow, amazing, He's even my master, and he's master of even Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma. But he has, his name is Achyut. He never fails to follow his words. Okay, that's nice. And Lord has taken the Ratha and he has established. Okay, let's move forward. Verse 25. That's nice one. Can I request Sumit Prabhuji to say a few things? If you wanted to.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
In this verse, thing, as far as I remember, so the Acharya says that this is one of the turning verses in Bhagavad Gita. It is the first verse in where Krishna speaks a few words, which is what is mentioned. So,
yes. And what was those words, Prabhu? Prabhupada writes in the translation.
yes, so he says, just behold Partha, all Gurus assembled here.
Yeah. So what is he saying? What's the key word here? Behold Partha is all right. All the Kurus. All the Kurus. Tumhare parivar wale hain. Suppose you are Sharma and you go in the opposite party. Sare Sharma yahi hain. Sharma or Tiwari. Belonging, sense of belonging. He is from my city. He is from my jati. He is also Telugu. He is also Marathi. He is also Bengali. Something like that. So there is sense of belonging. Arey to mera wala hi hai. It belongs to my city only, my gaon only. So he's saying, behold, Partha, all the Kurus assembled here. So Samvetan Kurun iti. Samvetan assembled here. Kurus assembled here. Pashyetan, another word. He is not saying, Pashyetan, dekho. Look at them. They are Kurus. You are Kuru. They are Kuru. Look at all the Kurus assembled here. So that's sort of a turning point, which our Acharya has explained. And then Arjuna started thinking. So in the previous verse, you saw he was Durbadher. Dhartarashtrasya Durbadher. The sons of the Dhritarashtra are evil-minded. He's upset. Not emotional at all. He's upset. Now the whole party will turn into a different story now. So what our Acharya has also explained, because Arjuna is not a conditioned soul. He does not get into illusion as we do. This is my friend, this is my enemy, this is my gaonwala, this is not my gaonwala, he is my favorable friend, he is not my. Arjuna cannot get into illusion like that. But Arjuna was put into illusion by Krishna. Why? Because he had to deliver a great message for the mankind, and Krishna, fortunately or unfortunately, cannot use us. We are fully conditioned. So we are sort of useless in that sense. So Krishna has to use his own associates to perform some pastime. As we see in Bhagavatam, Jay and Vijay were used to perform Leela. Jay and Vijay were cursed by 4 Kumaras. Now, why would that happen? If you imagine why 4 Kumaras will get angry. Now, anger is a contamination. Why would they get angry? And that anger was expressed on the door of Vaikuntha. Now, even pure devotees in this world does not get angry. Pure devotees. We get angry all the time, but pure devotees. Now, pure devotees, when they go to Vaikuntha, it says Vaikuntha, Bina Kunta. There is no Kunta, there is no anxiety there. And there, how can you get anxiety? Just imagine the logic. You cannot get, but he still got it. Curse was thrown by 4 Kumaras, and not a simple curse. You behaving like a demon, you become a demon. Okay? Big curse. So it was all inspired by Lord. But Lord wanted to perform some lila, and there's another big pastime there. But we understand the principles. Here also we can see Arjun is not illusion. Arjun is an eternal associate of Lord. He's not conditioned, but he was put into conditioning again. Now, because he's a pure devotee of Lord, he is an eternal associate of the Lord. Now, he cannot come under Yogamaya. Sorry, Mahamaya. So he has to be under Yogamaya. Like Yashoda Maya also. She forgets. He is my Lalla. He is just so small boy. If I don't feed him, he will die. And that's what Yashoda Maya is thinking. The Supreme Personality of God. And she has seen so many evidences that he is Supreme Personality of God. He sometimes says as well, you know, I was Narsingadev, I was Vamandev. He says that. Acha, you are Vamandev. You cannot even cross this Dahlish. You are a Vamandev. So she will make fun of Krishna. His friends will also make fun of Krishna. It says Sridham, Radharani's brother, they will, like Bal Sakhas are having game, and they will win the game. And they will come and sit on the shoulder of Krishna, and they will kick Krishna. Take me to the river. You have lost the game, and Krishna will cry sometime. I am the prince of Braja. How can you behave like this to me? He said, okay, you may be prince there, but here you are in the game. You're all equal. You have to take me. And Krishna said, I'm not playing. He will go aside, he will sit under a tree, he will cry. And they say, please take me. Please take. No. You are not a prince. You are just a boy. You have lost the game. Krishna will cry. He will come back. He will put the boys on their shoulder and he will walk. And when he is walking, because he's upset, he's walking with a grudging mood. And they will kick on Krishna and say, Jaldi chalo, walk fast, walk fast. Krishna has to follow the order. This is our Supreme Personality of God. And that's what Prabhupada said, when we think the master-servant relationship in this world, and we try to imagine the same relationship in the spiritual world, we get scared. Because here the masters are always exploiting. Anyone on the higher position will try to exploit the lower position person. This is just generally speaking. So when we are told that we are also servant there, I don't want to be a devotee because, why would we like to become servant? Rather we become master. That's why many people like Mayavad. I'm the master. It's a sense of controllership, ownership, highership. So many people go to Mayavad. These Hare Krishnas, they are asking you to become servant of the servant of the servant. No. My Brahma Jyoti is better. Why? Because there's a sense of controllership there. I am in control. I am going to merge. I am going to get rid of this material world. I will enjoy the Brahma Jyoti. A lot of Ananda is there, which is true. But in comparison to Bhakti Ananda, it's Rupa Goswami says it's nothing. It's negligible. It's like an ocean. In front of an ocean, how much is that drop? A drop in front of an ocean. So yes, Ananda is there. We're not denying it. A drop of water, you say, is it water? Yeah, it's water. How much water? Very little. Very, very little. Anyway, so Krishna is so sweet. Krishna is so sweet. So he wanted to give this knowledge to Arjuna, and that's why he made Arjuna medium. And we'll see throughout the Bhagavad Gita as well. Actually, Arjuna says, I'm an illusion. He says that. And he will say in the 10th chapter itself, and you'll know that 10.12 verse, he says, my illusion is gone, but rest of the Bhagavad Gita is still remaining. So Krishna again prompts Arjuna to ask more questions. Because Arjuna cannot be the illusion. He's the eternal associate. He knows my relation to Krishna is the foremost. Every other relationship is secondary to me. So we'll see throughout Bhagavad Gita how Krishna is said, maybe I have to give this knowledge to, and you're the medium. So that's why Arjuna is made illusioned. Okay, next verse. 26. Sonia Mataji, would you like to say something?
So there Arjuna was taking the chariot, like Krishna was taking the chariot in the middle, and Arjuna could see that in the middle there are all his, both the parties, his fathers, grandfathers, and teachers, maternal uncles, all of them were there, and all his well-wishers as well. So over there, Arjuna was bewildered, or maybe he has it in his mind that, they're all his own people, and how can he fight with them?
So far, I think the list is just given. His emotional changes are not described as yet. So it's like Tatra Pashyat. Huh? So Tatra, there, Pashyat, Isthitan. So there they are situated, and he is looking at them. Whom he is looking? Similar list. So previously it was explained by Sanjay. We have talked about it. And this list is described by Arjuna, and most of the things are common. Very quickly, Pitranath. Pitranath means like father-wise. Huh? Like father, like uncles, you can say. Who are the uncles in the army? Just quickly. Huh? Okay, Mama. Okay, or Shalya. Huh? Who else? Somadatta was there. Somadatta, he's the father of Bhurishrava. He was also like father figure to Arjuna. Pitamahan, Pitamaha. Who is Pitamaha? Bhishma Pitama, he is Pitamaha. Acharya, Dronacharya, and Kripacharya. Thank you. Matulan, we already said Shalya and Shakuni. Shah. Bhatran refers to sons of Duryodhan. His own brothers are also there, and others are also like Bhurishrava. Bhurishrava was also like a brother in relation. Putran. So Putras was there, Abhimanyu was there, other sons of Draupadi was there, and Ashwatthama was like a friend, because they were studying Gurukul like a friend. But Duryodhan's sons were also there, Pautrans were also there, Duryodhan's grandsons were also there, and because they had a big family, can you imagine? Sakha is Ashwatthama, as we just said, and there are other Sakhas like Satyaki. Satyaki was also like a Sakha to Arjuna. And Krishna also was like a Sakha to Arjuna. Shashuran, father-in-laws were there, and this refers to Drupad Maharaj, Virat, and Yudhishthir's Shashur was also there. What was his name? I forgot, but we read that. His daughter was married to Yudhishthir. We read that in previous some verses. Anyway, Suhradas Chaiva, so many Suhrad was also there, who were well-wisher of Arjuna, savior of therapy. So far he's just listing them out. It's not mind change is not described as yet. Now we go to verse 27. Tan Samiksa Konteya. So who we have? Malati is here. Pinaki Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Prabhu. I'm just following my Zoom screen in that order. Would you like to say a few words if you were there last week?
Yes, I was, Prabhu.
Yeah.
So basically, this was all that is being said, that when Arjuna saw all his relatives in the battlefield wanting to fight with him, or rather his army, he was filled with compassion for his family members, and he became too much overwhelmed with grief and sorrow looking at his family. Yeah,
thank you, Prabhuji. So this is again that turning verse in terms of his emotions. So this is 127 is important, if you like to know. So his emotion turned in this verse. So far he was like listing them out, looking at them, told Krishna, please take my chariot and all that. He was upset before and all that. So no verse so far has explained his emotional change. That's where he sees. And Tan Samiksha, Samyak Iksha. Iksha means Dekhna, to see. The word used Aksha. We also have Krishna's another name, Adhoksha. So this refers to see. So Tan means all those Samyak. Samyak means complete, like the we say Sankirtan, Samyak Kirtan, complete Kirtan, complete glorification of Krishna. Krishna's name and Krishna's holy fame. That's what they say. So very nice. Samyak Kirtan, Sankirtan. So Samiksha. So when he saw fully, so he looked around very carefully and he listed all of them. So he looked around, and then there's a change in the heart. What was the change? Kripaya, compassion. So he didn't become cowardly like he became covered. Oh, so many big warriors, and they will just smash me. No. Kripaya. So that's another important word. And Prabhupada says, because he's a devotee, he's compassionate. Compassion is a normal quality, purpose quality of a devotee. Kripaya. What sort of kripaya? Paraya visto. Paraya, Prabhupada writes, of a high grade. High grade. And then in which direction he's going? Avistaha, overwhelmed. So while lamenting, Vishidannam idam abravit. So Tan Samiksha. So very important word here, Samiksha. So we have seen many similar variations of seeing is being used. So our Acharya has also explained in this particular verse, what has happened here is seeing faculty has made him overwhelmed. If he was not seeing, then he will not become overwhelmed. But because seeing and seeing with relation, you just go out and see the beauty of nature is so beautiful. This mountain or rivers are so beautiful. That's one thing, but you see with the relation. And then what is this relation? Where I have a lot of background, like for Bhishma Pitama. Bhishma Pitama was his grandfather, like his grandfather. And it says when Arjun, on the 9th day of the battle, in the night, when he went to Bhishma Pitama to ask, how can I kill you, grandfather? Now, this is an amazing question. How can I kill you? Today's culture, you cannot even imagine this question. What? But he said, and Vishwakama explained, and all that those things happened while they were coming back, Krishna and Arjun. And he said, when I was a young kid, like 8-9-year-old, I will go to Vishwakama and my clothes will be dirty, but I will still sit on his lap and make his clothes dirty as well. And then I will play with the beard of Vishwakama. And then I'll say, Father, Father, and Vishwakama will say, I'm not your father, I'm your grandfather. So Arjun at that stage didn't even know what's the father and what's the grandfather. And then he will laugh, he will hug and embrace me. Now this is the person I'm going to kill tomorrow. That's what Arjun is sharing with Krishna. Just imagine, I was imagining the situation of Arjun. Very difficult. We read Bhagavad Gita from a different perspective, but what he is representing is not false, it's true. So he will become compassionate. And it says, because generally speaking, it says Krishna, Maya comes through eyes. When we see Maya, different variations of Maya, we become illusioned. Oh, this is so nice. This TV is so nice. Car is so nice. House is so nice. It comes through eyes, generally speaking. And Krishna comes through ears. Ears means Shastra. Generally speaking. Now, it can be other way as well. Now, we can hear Maya as well, like hearing a cricket commentary. Kitna score hai? What's the score? How many wickets left? Blah, blah, blah. So when radios were available, people were stuck to the radio. Now it's a TV. So, but generally speaking, Krishna can come from eyes as well. You go to see Gopinath. I was looking at Gopinath yesterday's darshan. So nice. Anyone has seen yesterday's darshan? What was the difference? Mataji? So every day, you see Gopinath's garland is going this way towards the Murli. Yesterday, the garland went towards the Radharani. So whoever was the pujari yesterday, amazing. His thought pattern and mala was very thick, so beautiful, so beautiful. Every day he's beautiful, but sometimes Radharani will be holding a flute, Krishna is holding a flute. They're having competition in their dress as well. Every time you look at Gopinath, it's so beautiful, so beautiful. So Krishna can come through eyes as well. But generally, we appreciate Krishna by hearing, by Shabda Praman. Whatever we hear, then we appreciate more. And generally Maya comes from eyes. So here we see in the situation of Arjun, what has entered in Arjuna's chitta, in the heart? Maya. Now again, it's not Mahamaya, it's Yog Maya, but he's illusioned through the eyes. It says that's why we should be very careful what we see. It says we give our eyes, or I should rather say senses, to anyone and everyone these days. You go out, you're hearing, what pop music, rock music, and this music and that music, bang, 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 all that. You see anything, any billboards are there, advertisements are there. So you give your senses to anything, practically speaking, but a devotee is very, very careful. And we'll read in 2nd chapter, he is careful like a tortoise. Tortoise only releases the senses when it's necessary. When he sees a threat, he puts them back. So now you can't walk in the world with the blindfold, you have to walk, but you don't give your senses. Give your senses means, oh, so beautiful. I wish I had that dress. I wish I had that, whatever. You just see clearly, if it's not Krishna, it's Maya. For Bhagavatam, yes, you can say, oh, I wish I had a Bhagavatam set. Huh? I wish I had some more Prabhupada association, some more Guru Maharaj association, like that. That wishes are very auspicious. But anything else, what will happen? This will happen. Huh? Will become illusion. And in the illusion, in Arjuna's case, it was very nice. He went to Krishna. And when we get illusion, whom do we go to? Huh? TV, Google. And go, huh?
That's scary.
Yeah. You go to your friend and he will say, oh, you are suffering terribly. I'll tell you the way out. Huh? They will just give you more and more dhakka, the push into the material world. They will never, hardly anyone will be your good friend who will show you way to Krishna. They will generally tell you how to resolve the issue. And Bharat Maharaj says, material problems can never be resolved by a material solution. It will aggravate the problem. Material problems can only be resolved by a spiritual solution. So Arjun went to Krishna and he discussed, he asked for the guidance. What happened to Kaikai? You see in the matter of Kaikai, she was poisoned by mantra. So she was poisoned and that's all right. You can't stop anyone else. But did she consulted anyone to higher authority, to her guru, to her husband? Husband was also like a guru and talking in a Vedic culture. She didn't consult anyone, and that's how mantra was successful. So we have to be very careful. So we will all get illusioned because we can't close our eyes, and we are not so pure. We are also contaminated. We are struggling somehow. But anytime we get illusioned, what should we do? We should go to Krishna or the representative of Krishna. Then we'll be saved. Arjun was saved. Kaikai was destroyed. Kaikai considered Lord Ram, it says, more dear than her own son Bharat. Kaikai always considered Ram more dear to Bharat. And when Mantra first said Ram is going to be Raja, she gave her personal, very valuable necklace to Mantra. Oh, such a good news. And Mantra threw that necklace on the ground. You stupid lady. And that's where it started. And then she tried many techniques actually, and didn't work. First two techniques didn't work, third one worked. So you're going to become Dasi of Kaushalya. Anyway, so these people will be around. Lal Govind Prabhu was saying Mantra has not died as yet. Mantra is still there in Sydney. You remember that? In Vaikuntha Ashram, Prabhuji was giving a lecture, I remember. He said Mantra's sons and daughters and grandchildren are around us, and that comes through internet. So much gossiping is there, blasphemy is there. People are there just to misguide you. So much is out there. We have no time to open Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. We have so much time for Facebook, Twitter, and so much else. Anyway, so we have to be very, very careful. What are we seeing? What are we listening? I went to India, I'll be honest with you, sometime many years ago, and there was a Bharat going, What's the translation of Bharat? Some marriage ceremony, and they're playing some old filmy songs, You get reminded of all the songs which you used to murmur, isn't it? It happens. You're just going on the road. You're not going into that music. But as soon as you hear one, I know that song. And the second and third line, what I'm doing, I should be chanting Hare Krishna and be singing some bhajans. So whenever you give your ears, you give your eyes, Maya will straight away enter. So we have to put a big filter, and the filter will be our intelligence. No, this is not good. It's not good. Intelligence is like a bodyguard. The bodyguard is standing on your door and allowing the right persons in and the wrong persons out. That's what their duty is. People have these dogs. Why? Friends can come in, enemies or unfavorable persons cannot come in. Any salesman cannot just come to your house. Prabhuji, here le lo. There's a dog outside or some bodyguard outside. So our bodyguards are Shastra. Shastra is our bodyguard. And the better study we have done, it's not about talking about knowledge. Study means I've contemplated, I thought this is the correct thing. This is the correct, this is not correct. So every time the Guru Maharaj says you have to filter the information which comes to you. And then you should become Shastra Chakshu. It says very clearly, Shastra Chakshu means you filter everything from the eyes of Shastra. What I should take, why I should not take. And we all struggle. I struggle, I'll be honest. But if we are associated with the Shastra, with the devotee, with the right association, that will be filtered. We can't stop, right? We can't sit at home all day. We have to go to Woolworths, go do some shopping, take kids here and there. But we have to filter. This is right, this is wrong. And who will say this is right and wrong? Our mind will say, this is very right. This is I was looking forward to it. 50% discount, let's go. You never need it for next 10 years. Why do you need this? all this Maya's temptation will always be there, always be there. And Maya knows the trick. What is the weak point for you may be different. What's the weak point for me? Isn't it? Maya knows exactly which button to press for which devotee. Very expert. So this is one example given. It gives a huge message here. Tan Samiksha. Sripala Prabhu was giving a class in City Temple many years ago. Very nice thing he said. He was also a working person when he was in Sydney. He was going to city. He was a professor. He was sharing one thing in a Bhagavatam class. He was saying, again, same thing, that we can't close our eyes and go to work. We have to open our eyes. And then we see many undesirable things as well. But he said one thing very nice. He said, you should not look at it again. If something comes in front of your eyes, it comes. What can you say? But you should not look back. What was there? He said, as soon as you did, you fall down. You fall down. So second one, oh, that's nice. That's interesting. Let me check it out. So first attempt, you can't stop. What can you're driving on the road? You have to see something. So he said, very nice. So second attempt. And as soon as it happens, you should know. At least you can contemplate on yourself. Am I doing the right thing or the wrong thing? As soon as you look at second time. First time, it's random. It's random. Very nice. I like that. And I've tested it myself. I'll be very honest. And I've tested, I'm the second category. But one good thing I really like, I remember Sripala Prabhu. And I remember that this is not correct for me. And that gives me some boost. Some boost. So some things, little but very nice. Yes, please.
That's why when Prabhu in his lectures was saying that Prabhupada said, first time if you see any sense object or any sense satisfying object, that's a concept.
Yes.
Second time if you relook at it, then you're a rascal.
You're a rascal. Simple. You're a rascal. And makes sense. It makes sense. That's where you start contemplating on that sense object. Oh, it might be good for me. And that's where the whole chain starts. We'll see. So we understand the seeing is very, very important. One more example which comes to my mind. Maharaj Bharat, he saw the baby deer. He saw. It says very clearly, he saw the baby deer. If he hadn't seen the baby deer, he was doing his duties nicely. There was no problem. But he saw. He saw. So very, very careful. It's difficult. It's very, very difficult. But we can see even a person like Arjun, even if you take him just like a normal Kshatriya, he got overwhelmed just by seeing and relating with them. So Tan is Samiksha. So Iksha, seeing is very, very important. Next one, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Sorry, can I ask a question?
Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhuji, please.
Prabhuji, pardon my ignorance, but can you briefly explain the difference between Mahamaya and Yogamaya?
Okay, Mahamaya, very briefly. So Krishna has many energies. So in one categorization, Krishna has these two energies which controls the souls. There are two types of soul. One is conditioned soul. It says Nitya Baddha and Nitya Mukta. So eternally conditioned soul and eternally liberated soul. So in the material world, all of us at the moment, unless Krishna has sent us, one of us, we are all eternally conditioned soul, and we are called Nitya Baddha. So for these Nitya Baddha, who are, in simple words of Prabhupada, rascal jivas, is controlled by Krishna's one energy, which is called Mahamaya. They both Maya. But eternally liberated souls who live in the spiritual existence are controlled by another energy of Krishna, which is known as Yogamaya. We'll explain this word later, but just a brief. So Yogamaya and Mahamaya. Mahamaya controls the conditioned jiva, and Yogamaya sort of facilitates, I wouldn't say control, facilitates the Leela of Krishna in the spiritual world. So when Yashoda Maya is there and she doesn't know, for example, that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that is not due to illusion. When I don't know Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, or even God, for example, I'm under Mahamaya. But when Yashoda Maya doesn't know, Gwal Sakas don't know, they are under Yogamaya. They know Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and then they forget. Why do they forget? Because to increase the relation between Krishna and Yashoda Maya, it's important for a mother to forget the child as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Otherwise, she will say, oh, you're the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You don't need my milk. You don't need butter. then it becomes a relation between a Jiva and a Vishnu, for example. We're not even talking about not devotees. So in Vaikuntha, that's why the mood is different. The mood is of awe and reverence. Everyone worships Vishnu, they pray Dandavats to Vishnu. But in case of Krishna, you can hug Krishna. You can go and steal Krishna's flute. Krishna allows that. Krishna can eat your jutha laddu or juthi chach, which has gone into your mouth. And it says one of the boys was taking the chach, he has taken the mouthful of chach, and he said, "Are tumne mujhe nahi diya, you didn't give me the chach." And he is drinking jaldi jaldi. And Krishna thought, I wouldn't do it otherwise. Devotee. And that chach Krishna drinks. That is under Yoga Maya. Now we can't do it. Are Madhumangal also did that. We can also do it. What's the problem? My plate, Krishna's plate, all same. No, we can't do that. Even our scrubber is different. Huh? Our sometimes if facility provides, even sink is different. Even kitchens are different. Huh? Whatever categories is possible. So is it okay, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Very sorry. It's a very big topic. What is Mahamaya? What is your Maya?
Thank you.
Nitya Mukta. Nitya Mukta, they are eternally liberated souls. Of the gopis, Gopsaka, everyone in the spiritual existence, Prabhuji. Nitya Siddhas. Okay, Nitya Siddhas. So they are Nitya Muktas, they are Nitya Siddhas. So Siddhi also has two categorizations. So one who becomes Sadhana Siddha, one is called Nitya Siddha. Sadhana Siddha is, suppose we are doing our sadhana, we are in the conditioned state at now, but after the sadhana, you will become perfect. So you are called Sadhana Siddha. One is Nitya Siddha, they are always Siddha, but they enter into the material world, sometimes sent by Krishna for a particular purpose. They're all spiritual existent souls. Okay, let's move forward. Which verse it is? 28. Who is next? Ujjwala Mataji, Hare Krishna. Would you like to say a few words about verse 28? I think we're still revising.
Hare Krishna. Can you see me?
Mataji, voice is echoing a lot.
I don't know.
Okay, Mataji, I think maybe we can move to the next devotee. Okay, now it's all right, actually.
Is it better?
Much better. Much better. Yes. No, sorry.
Mataji, it's echoing.
Getting repeated multiple times. I think maybe. Sorry, Mataji. It's just the internet thing. Amar Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Would you like to say a few words about verse 28?
Sure, Prabhu. Over here, the verse, this is the first verse where Arjuna is showing the conditions of his bodily conditions, what's happening with him when he sees his beloved friends and grandfather and all the relatives, and nervousness kicks into it, and the butterflies goes in his stomach, and that's what the condition is saying, that his body is queering, is basically shaky, and his mouth is drying. So that's what is shown, that he's not nervous, as Prabhupada described in the purport as well. That is called the softness of the heart. So that's what is described in this verse, where he's a very soft-hearted person as a pure devotee, and he doesn't feel like he should be fighting all his relatives and his grandfathers and friends.
Yes, thank you, Prabhuji. Very nice. One more word which comes to my mind: Drishtemam Swajanam Krishna. Swajan. Previously, what he was saying, Durbuddhere, Dhartasasya Durbuddhere, evil-minded sons of Abhiva Swajan ho gaye. Why? Drashtemam, Tan Samiksha Konteya. So you see this word Drashta, Pashyati, Iksha coming again and again and again. So he's seeing so much. So when we see too much India-Pakistan match, what will go on in our mind? India-Pakistan match. So sometimes we feel, oh, kuch nahi hota, just one match, once in a while. So what's the big difference? Huh? No, it has an impact. When Maharaj was explaining the meaning of asakti, attachment, he was saying, asakti, it can come, but cannot go. So you should not think, unless you are a pure devotee, Prabhupada could see, even in the very bad things, he could see relation to Krishna, but we are not there. So it's better we guard ourselves as much as possible. And Chaitanya Charan Prabhu was saying very nicely, he was saying, even if you fall down for some sense object or whatever, but at least you should realize your mistake. So realization is also a step towards. So you fail your attempt, that's fine, but at least you know I failed. Many people enjoy their failures, isn't it? Yeah, when they go to the Maya, they say, yeah, maza aa gaya, maza aa gaya. I went to this club or this holiday resort or whatever. But devotee at least said, no, this is not right. This is not right. So it's take the first step. First step is failure. That's fine. I failed in my attempt. Next time, Krishna, give me strength so I can pass in my. So at least that stage should be there in us. If we fail, recognize your failure. I failed in my attempt. I fall prey for the Maya. Next time, I should rise up. I should rise up. And he says, slowly, if you keep praying, you keep attempting, you will have a strength to rise up. Because it doesn't happen overnight. You press a button. Come out of Maya, you rascal. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't. It's a slow progression. So very nicely, very practical, he said. Recognize your failures and then pray to Krishna and try. Come out. Seek help. Seek devotee association. Seek guidance. And then they will bless you. They will give you strength. It says Krishna and Balram, what's the one difference? In one sense, Krishna gives instruction and Balram gives the strength to follow the instruction. That's why Balram is more important, isn't it? Because that's where we know Bhagavad Gita. All of us sitting here doing, I'm sure you all know more than me. But why we are here? Just to help each other. Whatever we know, that's not the point here. The point here is in the devotee association, we are discussing Shastra. We're getting blessings of Krishna. We're trying to get blessings of our Guru, Prabhupada. And that's why we're trying to move forward. We're trying to become more stronger in our conviction of this Shastra. Then we can apply in our life. And we can become a little better devotee. That's the purpose. Knowledge is a part to achieve that purpose. That's it. We are not reading for the knowledge purpose, this Bhagavad Gita. Exams are there, but again, the purpose is to meditate on this knowledge. We can apply this knowledge. Krishna is not going to help you with 100 by 100 marks and no application. So the purpose is different, but the path looks like I have to cram 4 verses. It's a good purpose behind it. So that's important. And one more thing, which Amar Prabhu mentioned very nicely. This is the first verse where Arjuna's physical impact of his emotional change is described. So sometimes, you cry and you just cry, you're upset, but something happening in your external body, that is like a lot of emotional breakdown has happened. Like if someone hears a bad news, a mother hears a bad news about the son or something, she falls down unconscious. That's the external impact of the internal impact, isn't it? She heard the news internally. No one has hurt her, but she falls unconscious, for example, on the floor. And then people run with the water or something. So similarly, change from internal to external is changing, is exhibited through this verse. Sidanti mam gatrani. Sidanti means quivering. Mam gatrani. My limbs of the body are quivering. Wow. Arjuna, Kshatriya, who can lift a Gandiv, his body is quivering. Mukham cha parishushati, and my mouth is also drying up. Okay, move to the next one. I think last time we went a little bit too quickly over these verses, so I think that's why I'm spending time knowingly a little bit extra. But by this repeat, hopefully we'll get the idea. 29, Karishka Mataji, if you are there, would you like to say something?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Just carrying on from what Amar Prabhu said, where his body was trembling and what have you. Prabhupada describes in this particular verse the feeling of trembling. The body is now trembling, the hairs on the body are standing on edge, and all because he's starting to realize that death is basically imminent for many of the people fighting on both the sides. And in that feeling, that I think you mentioned last week that Gandiv is 22,000 kilos. And so, for him to drop that heavy bow, that shows how it's affected him so much in this particular verse.
Yeah. Thank you, Mataji. Yes, it's a continuation. It's more external things are described. We will move next one. Last verse, last week. Hare Krishna, Madhuri Mataji, if you're there. I'm not sure.
Yeah, sorry, Prabhu, I am here, Prabhu.
That's all right, Mataji. Would you like to say a few words, Mataji?
Yeah, here the same feeling, the emotional feeling of Arjuna is continued. So he's saying like, because of all these consequences, I'm not able to stand here. And then this all, he's actually having a doubt of like, these all are the causes of misfortune. And then here he mentioned Krishna as a killer of KC demon. So indirectly he's asking like, to kill the thoughts in him for Krishna. So this is still continued that way.
Yeah, thank you, Mataji. I think that covers any other points which we discussed on this verse.
Another thing mentioned that this is also on the verse where Arjuna indirectly wanted Krishna to kill the demon.
Yes, so Keshi, that verse it means, yes. So as you have killed the demon Keshi, you please kill the demon of doubt in my mind. So I'm sort of doubting myself because you can see Arjuna is not able to stand anymore. Okay, let's move forward now. Verse 31. Who is next? Maybe someone here can read.
Nacha Shreyo Nupushyami
Nacha Shreyo Nupashyami Atva Swajanam Ahave Nakamshe Jayam Krishna Nacha Rajyam Sukhani Cha.
I do not see how any good can come from killing my own kinsmen in this battle. Nor can I, my dear Krishna, desire any subsequent victory, kingdom, or happiness.
Okay, so now Arjuna is sort of explaining his heart. Nacha Shreyo Anupashyami. So Anupashyami, we'll describe the word Anu later, but generally Anupashyami is not just Pashya. Pashya means to see. Anupashyami is seeing with vision, seeing with Shastra. We have word Anurag, Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadi, Dukh, Doshanu, Darshanam, Anudarshan. So wherever the Anu comes, Anu is referring to Shastra, or a vision of. So I'm not just, when Prabhupada was looking at the road, someone describes in his diary that Prabhupada was looking in LA temple, looking out of his window. When we look out of the window, we look, oh, that building is nice, car is nice, this is nice. But Prabhupada was looking at what he was looking, I'm looking at the truck. In that truck, we can have a Rath Yatra. So Prabhupada even looking out is not just looking out, he's thinking about how can I serve Krishna. He's looking at the ocean, he's thinking, oh, look at this, Krishna is so big, he's created a nice ocean. When we are looking at the beach, what are we thinking? When we're going to jump inside, take some weights on our head, something like that. I was going with my Guru Maharaj in Sutherland, some beach walk. Maharaj said, we're walking on the beach with few devotees and disciples. Maharaj said, there's lots of sinful activity also going on here. We are also here, but we are here for a different purpose. We are looking at Krishna's, use of word, creation. But other people are there for their purpose. So he said, you take that out and you can still look at this. Very nice. So looking at beach is not a problem. Looking at ocean or nature is not a problem. But what are you looking at in there? That is the main thing. Prabhupada looking at ocean, Guru Maharaj looking at ocean is very different than we looking at ocean. So Anupashyami is important. And what Anupashyami is being prefixed with Shreya. What is he trying to look at? What is his vision? Shreya and Preya. These are two words. We all know that. Preya means, I like this watch. Let me have it. And the shopkeeper said, Prabhuji, $10,000. Chalega, I have to have this watch. Whatever. I love this watch. That's what we say, or watch or whatever. I just have to have it. And then cost doesn't matter. I just have to have it. So this is, or any short-term beneficial activities. I like this, I like that, But you see, a wise person always is visionary. Prabhupada was visionary. Even Chanakya predicted for that example. He's not looking at die for a small thing. Look at life in a serious way. So Shreya refers to long-term benefit. Preya refers to the short-term benefit. Today's world has become Shreya or Preya? Preya. All the time, Preya, Preya, Preya. What is in for me? Mere liye kya hai? What are you going to give me? Me, and me. Very self-centered people, most of the time, if not all the time. And if they are not self-centered, they extend their compassion to a cat or dog. I'm very compassionate. I'm looking after this cat or dog. What are you feeding this cat and dog? Beef. What else? You know, you go in Coles and buy the beef. I'm very compassionate towards kangaroos, and I kill beef. Very, very compassionate. Huh? To feed. No, to feed yourself. I'm talking a real scenario actually. So Nacha Shreya Anupashyami. So Arjun actually is a devotee. He's looking at not Pashyami, Anupashyami. He's looking at what his arguments were from a mundane perspective, very high level argument, very high. He's become compassionate. And he's looking at Shreya. So we should also try to look at the Shreyas, not Prayas. If someone is attacked, Radhesham Prabhu gave a very nice example. He said, you're in a enclosed hall somewhere and there's a fire everywhere. And then you have to get out. All the doors are blocked because of fire. So someone extends a rope from top. And you're holding the rope and someone is ridiculing you. Someone is misrepresenting you, misunderstanding you. Now, what is your duty right now? To hold the rope and go up, or get down and slap that person? You're ridiculing me? Me? I'm such a great person. You're misrepresenting me. You're misunderstanding me. What's your main duty that time? There's fire everywhere. Let him ridicule you. Get out. Get out. Many times even devotees get stuck with these ego fights. Many times, if not all the time. Who's greater? You are great. I'm small. You win. I lose. Even Rupa Goswami signs. Literally, he signs on Vijay Patra. Okay, you win. Is there any other signature you need? We should never fight. This is not Shreya. It's just Shreya. I'm just boosting my ego. It's not needed. No, it doesn't mean we accept defeat everywhere. We're not saying that. But again, Anupashyami. I'm talking the word Anupashyami. We should be visionary. Where it's going to lead is going to waste my time. Next 3 years will be wasted. Or I say, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, you are so great, you are so nice, get out. Amrita Prabhu also mentioned just on this word, so I'm just sharing that, it comes to my mind. He said, when someone ridicules you, someone tried to, humiliate you, you're so small, you have 10 faults, for example, someone says. So Amrita Prabhu said, very humbly, should go down to the devotee and say, Prabhu, you only mentioned 10 faults, I have 100 more. You're not mentioning that. Thank you for glorifying me. Because you are saying I only have 10 faults. Actually, I have 100 more. You have not mentioned that. So actually, you should go down to that devotee. Thank you, Prabhuji. You are so kind to me. You are not, humiliating me enough. I deserve more humiliation. So it's just a matter of perspective, where we want to fight and where we want to get out. Because a devotee is Anupashyami. He is looking in the long-term vision. What's my benefit? How much time I'm going to give to this project versus that project? Some things you have to deal with it, you deal with it. But you should be very visionary. Every time you pick up a project, vision, vision, vision. And these little winnings or defeats, it doesn't matter in the long term, isn't it? We are here for zillions of life. Now we got mercy of Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj, devotees, Shastra, Anupashyami. We should go forward, look at the vision of that project. Little things here and there, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If it matters for our seva, yes. Then Prabhupada stood very strong. You're saying Mayavad is higher or devotion is higher. Then Prabhupada never stepped back. But for his personal thing, that's all right. You can be greater than me, no problem. So, Nacha Shreya is a very great quality of a devotee. Anupashyami, looking from the Shastra and looking at the Shreyas, not just the prayers. Rest is quite straightforward. Hatva Sajan. So Sajan word is used again. Ahave in the battle. Hatva is to kill. So I'm going to kill, or we are going to kill our Sajans. I don't see any long-term benefit in that. Nakankshe Vijayam Krishna. Kanksha means akanksha, desire. I don't desire that sort of victory here, Krishna. Nacha Rajyam Sukhanicha, that sort of sukha of Rajya. Because why people want to go to a big position? Because there's a sukha there. I want to become king. I want to take the other country as well into my kingdom. Why? Because my power will become greater. Then I will have greater sukha, lot of more people under me, and that means greater power, greater sukha. He's saying, Nacha Rajyam Sukhanicha, to move forward. It's a pretty straightforward verse, but two things are important, Anupashyami and Shreya. It's a principle which we should also try to take. Which Hemanga, would you like to read? It's pretty long. If you like, you can read one and Kimno Rajena Govinda Kimno Gare Videva Yesha Ante Kamshitano Rajan Bhoga Sukhanisha. Just read one verse and we'll do that verse and then we'll move forward. Kimno Rajena Govinda. So here Krishna is mentioned with a new word. Last verse we saw is Krishna. Nakangshe Vijayam Krishna. Again, what does Krishna mean in terms of context? Very intimate addressing. Very, very intimate. I'm not if Rupam Prabhu is big CEO or something, or Mr. CEO. That's one address. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Intimate sort of. So Krishna is very intimate. Keshav and Achyuta, as mentioned in the Mahabharata, they are more sort of formal address to Krishna. Krishna, very. So now when he's opening his heart to his friend, Krishna. He's not Nakangshe Vijay. I don't want that sort of Vijay, victory. So here, Govinda. What does Govinda mean? Govinda. Huh? Govinda. Vinda means to give joy. Go means to senses. Who gives joy to the senses? Rishikesh was the master of the senses. So ones who give joy to the senses. Now, basically, why is he using this word Govinda? Because Govinda, you give joy to the senses, right? So now what we are planning to do, that will not give joy to my senses. So why are you putting me in this sort of thing, which is not going to give joy to my senses? So, and my senses, as described, are quivering. My mind is reeling. So please, you give joy to my senses. So you can see movement of Arjun towards Krishna through the word Govinda, isn't it? Because my senses are not in my control. So again, I think Mahavasu Prabhu or someone else mentioned, when we move towards Krishna, then we get the joy. We think our joy will be outside in the world. It just doesn't exist. Krishna has very clearly labeled this word as Dukkhalaya Vashashvatam. You go to a bhaji shop and you're looking for a dress there. And you blame this bhaji wala, the shopkeeper. Arey, you rascal, you don't have a dress in your shop? Bhai sahab, you go to a vegetable shop. Or you go to the Mayas and you look for vegetable. You don't have aloo in Mayas, in David Jones? What sort of shopkeeper you are? Bhai sahab, this is a departmental store. Here we sell dresses and shoes and perfumes and all that, luxury items. For bhaji, you go to a vegetable shop. So similarly, this word is what? Dukh alay vishas. The label is there by Krishna. Open label is there. Dukh alay. Alay means, lay means rhythm. Alay means perfect rhythm. Perfect rhythm for what? Dukkha. What our expectation is sukha. This word is made for my sukha. Krishna has given me this body to enjoy this word, isn't it? That's what I feel. But what Krishna is dukkha. Everything is very rhythmically maintained. You enter into a house, very nice, clean. Everything is in an order, not in a mess. When someone comes, I'm sure Mataji would have cleaned the house. Her house is always in order, but just in case, chota mota. This should look nice. Put this there, put that there. Jhadu pocha and everything nice, dusting. You put everything in order for what? When the guests come, they feel comfortable. They feel, oh, it's nice place, nice ashram. So lay or alay, we go to school in Hindi is called Vidyalay. Everything is perfectly aligned for that purpose. There is a class at 9 o'clock. There's a class at 9:30. The history teacher, there's an English teacher, there's a maths teacher. There's a break in between. This perfect. And after 6 hours, 7 hours, you go home. There's no other business in the school. Vidyalay. So this is Dukkhalay. But our expectation is completely 180 degree. So that's actually one of the proof we don't belong to this world. Because our expectation is ever long lasting happiness. There's no ever here, there's no happiness here. But our expectation is there. That means we don't belong to this world. The label is stuff the same, Dukkhalay and Ashashvat. And we want Sukhalay and Shashvat. Meri job, meri gadi, mera ghar, meri family, mera paisa, my money, my job, my whatever, should stay like this forever. And it should increase. In the novels then, or in the Hindi movies, or I'm sure in English movies as well. And then they lived happily forever. There is no happiness and there is no forever. But they write like that. Because this is how we want to see. That's what they are promoting. So this is very nice. Govinda word is so. How would we get this happiness when you go to Govinda? Otherwise, it's not possible. So Arjuna is very intelligent and he is telling Krishna his heartfelt feelings. Kim no rajyena govinda, kim bhogar jivate pa. So what sort of bhoga we will do? Huh? Yesham arthe. Yeah. Now here there's another point, starting of Arjuna's enjoyment feeling. Huh? Prabhupada writes that Arjuna is trying to enjoy. Again, as a normal jiva, he's representing that. So if I get a trophy, I win something. So I come home and show, Mama, I got this trophy, or Papa, I got this, or brother, sister, whatever. If they are not at home, whom you enjoy? At least you post a photo in a WhatsApp group. 3 people will say, "Oh, Prabhuji, very nice." Say, shabash. I feel good. So if they are not there, what is the meaning of that trophy? You just like, there's no one to share, and then you are still alone. And there are many people very, very alone just because of that first one. In Japan, I heard in a lecture that they have a minister of there's a department in Japan, a department of loneliness. And there's a minister for that, because in Japan, there's so many people who are lonely and they commit suicide because of that. Like they have Department of Justice, Department of Transport, they have Department of Loneliness. In Japan, it exists, you can Google it. And there's a minister for that who looks after the welfare of those people who are lonely, because government have realized how people are so lonely. Now, Japan is one of the most advanced countries in the world, right? They have the latest electronic gadgets made in Japan, yeah, go. But most number of suicides, especially among the young people, are happening in this country. They have to make a department. Government is spending billions of dollars on this department because they are so lonely. Arey bhai, you have WhatsApp and Twitter and Facebook and whatnot. I don't even know the names. Why are you lonely? There's so much available there, so cheap. People are dying in the loneliness. All this glittering outside doesn't replace our emotions inside. We can buy unlimited number of TVs and this touchpad and that touchpad and this Tesla. What do you call Tesla? You can buy this Tesla and that Tesla. It doesn't replace your emotional needs. We are human beings. We need emotion. We need friends, good friends. So Shastra says, Shastra is our best friend. Devotees are our best friend. So Yesham, so Arjun actually just representing. So Jinke liye, for whom I was going to win this kingdom, they are going to die. They are all here assembled here for death. So even if I win it, Yesham Arthe, for those for Kamshitam, no Rajyam Bhogas, no Miss V, Rajyam Bhogas Parisha. That Sukha is not there because they're all gone. So Govinda, please. Very nice. Next one. If you know. Ta ime vasthita yuddhe. Ta ime, like these people, avasthita, situated in this yuddha. They are ready. Prana stektva dhana, they are ready to give up their dhana and prana as well. Dhana means battle costs money, and you can Google it these days. I read a news. I don't know right or wrong, some little thing. In some days of battle, they have lost $565 billion worth of things. I'm sure it has increased now. That day it was, I was like, wow, you could feed so many people in this money. $565 billion they had lost in a number of days, whatever, 20, 35 days. Wow. So dhan, lot of dhana is required. It's all about dhan. This whole yuddha is about dhan. Anyway, so they are ready to give their prana as well as dhan. Acharya, who is ready to give up? Acharya, my Acharya is there. Dronacharya, Kripacharya, Pitaraha, my elderly people also there. Putras, Tathai Shaptama, they're all there, right? They're ready to give up. So I'm going to earn this kingdom so that I can enjoy with them, but they're not there. So we understand, Arjuna? Next one. Prasannatma Prabhu, Hare Krishna. If he is there.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Nice to see you. Would you like to read next verse, which is what's the number? 34 Prabhuji.
34, okay.
34, 35, you can both read, probably. Just read both verses, they are similar.
Yeah. Tan ime vastita yuddhe.
Prabhuji, 34 and 35.
34.
Next one, Prabhu.
They are highlighted on the screen, both 34 and 35.
Okay. Yeah. Matula swasura podra. Shala Shambandina Tata Etana Hantam Ichchami Natopi Madhusudana Api Trailokya Rajyasya Heto Kim no Mahikrite Nihatya Drata Rashrana Ka Priti Sya Janardana.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So it's just basically listing, will not repeat it. Matula, Shoshara, Patra, Shala, they're all there. Shala is the brother-in-law. That's the extra addition in the previous list, which is not there. Shala refers to Dasudumne. Shala, brother-in-law, he was there because Draupadi's brother, Dasudumne. So you have not seen this word before. So that's extra one. That's it. Some brothers, so there different relatives are there. Etan nahantum ichhami. Etan, to these people, nahantum. Hantum is to kill. Ichhami means to ichha. I don't desire to kill them. Now, first time Arjuna is now saying, clearly bol diya. Etan nahantum ichhami. I don't want to kill them. Ghandopi Madhusudana. Hey Madhusudan, I don't want to kill them. Now, Madhusudan, what does Madhusudan refers to? I think we have done it earlier, right? Killer of Madhu demon. So what does it represent? Similar to the Keshi explanation. So if I have a doubt in my mind, so you are very, very strong, like Madhu and Keta could not be killed by anyone else except Lord Vishnu. Because you are so powerful, you have killed such a big demon, you also please kill the demon of doubt in my mind. Okay. Now, next he explains in 35, Api Trailokya Rajya said, even if I have to get the kingdom of the three worlds here refers to 14 planetary systems, the upper planetary system, middle planetary system, and below. So there are 6 plus 1 plus 7. So we are on the earthly planet. So he's saying, Api Trailokya Rajya se, even if you give me the Rajya of the Triloki, Heto Kimnu Mahi Krite. Mahi refers to Prithvi. Mahi refers to earthly planets. So what to speak of this Prithvi? Like, even if you give me, like $10 million, you're just offering me $10. But even if you give me $10 million, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to sell for it. So, Api Trailokya Rajya se heto kimnu mahi krite nihatya dharta rashtra. If you go down, Prabhuji. The last line, Prabhupada writes, I just want to read Prabhupada, like very nice. Yeah. So, what pleasure will be derived from killing the sons of Dhritarashtra? What pleasure will derive? So, he's saying, I have no interest in killing them. I have no interest in this Rajya of the Triloka, what we speak of the Triloka, and I'm not going to get any pleasure. Now, if you go up, Prabhuji, the last word used in this verse is Janardhan. That's a new word which has not been used earlier. So many words for Krishna is used just in this first chapter. Janardhan. What does Janardhan mean? Janta Janardhan. Okay. Okay. Good guess, Mataji. That's not the Sanskrit meaning. Yeah. Maintainer, protector. It says Ardhan. Ardhan has 2 meanings actually. So this word can be broken into 2 pieces. So Jannah and Ardhan. So Jannah is the lok, Ardhan is protection. So one who protects, and who protects? Krishna protects. So his name is very appropriate. So the meaning is the protector of Jannah. And he says Jan Ardhan. So Jan Ardhan and Jan plus Ardhan. Ardhan refers to annihilate. It's complete. Krishna is going to have a difference. It's completely different meaning. So one is Jan plus Ardhan, protector of the people. One is Jan plus Ardhan, one who annihilates the people. Now Krishna has both forms, isn't it? Krishna gives birth, Krishna maintains, and Krishna annihilates. Who else is annihilating? We are dying every moment. Our cells are dying. Who's doing that? Krishna says, no. In 10th chapter, we read that verse. What was that verse? I am Mrityu. What's that verse? I am death personified. What's that Sanskrit? Anyway, we know which was I'm referring to. Krishna is death, isn't it? So Krishna is not only very sweet, loving, Makhan God. No, he says, look at my Virat Rupa. I am the killer as well. Because that is what a person makes a complete God. Because God means who sort of generates, who operates and destroys as well. So we should not just look at one aspect of God, which is very sweet, which exists, but he has another aspect as well. And if he didn't have that aspect, he's not a complete God, isn't it? Because God means everything, everything inclusive. So Krishna's this address is very nice. It's very nice. And also this address has been explained in 4.8. Paritranaya sadhunam, that refers to Janardhan, Jantas, Ardhan, protection of the devotees. And Vinashaya Dushtatam, that refers to Jantas Ardhan. So here he is protecting the devotees, he's Janardhan. He's annihilating the demons, he's Janardhan. You understand?
Yeah.
The true meaning. Very nice. Vishnu Chakravarti explains this. So Jantas Ardhan, one who protects the Jana and one who annihilates the Jana. But Jana first refers to devotees, second refers to the demons. And in general, he's Janardhan. He is Janardhan. We are not Janardhan. We think we are protecting our family because we have, CBA insurance. We have this contents insurance or house insurance and ME insurance and whatnot. None of the insurance save anything. Krishna is the real Janardhan. We are the fake ones. Okay, Prabhuji, please move on. So he's saying, I have no pleasure. And why he's referring to Janardhan? You are Janardhan, you are a protector. And you are putting in the destruction. So he's sort of little confused at this stage. And he's saying, Govinda, please give pleasure to my senses. You are Janardhan. Each and every address is so nice. Madhusudan, talking about his internal mind. Janardhan is talking about the external thing. Very nice. Next one. Kaun padhega? Vinay Prabhuji?
Papam eva tasman.
Papam eva tasman.
Attaitan atataina.
Advaitan atatayinah.
Matna arhabhayam.
Tasman arhabhayam.
Bhatarashtam sabandhavan.
Bhatarashtam sabandhavan.
Swajanani katam bhatta.
Swajanani katam bhatta. Sukhinasya madhava. Okay, this is beautiful. We can read the translation as well. Very nice. It's a small one.
Sin will overcome us if we slay such aggressors. Therefore, it is not proper for us to kill the son of Dhritarashtra and our friends. What should we gain, O Krishna, husband of the goddess of fortune? And how could we be happy by killing our own sins?
So, 136, which we are discussing, Papam eva shrayed asman. So, asman is all of us. Papa eva is certainly, Papam is obviously sin. Ashrayed, the word ashray is used. So, what we are going to take shelter of? Papam. So, usually we use this word ashray in a very positive connotation, isn't it? We are taking ashray of Krishna or Krishna's holy name or temple or something like that. But here he is saying, we are taking ashray of what? Papa. Now, when we take ashray in a positive sense, that ashray helps us, isn't it? But here, this ashray is going to help us? No, it's going to be a burden on us. So we are going to take shelter of Papa, which actually means he's saying we are going to be burdened or rather overburdened by sin. If you kill this atatai, now Prabhupada explains this word atatai. So it says tai means bow and at means stretched. So tai, as we have Saktikish Chaparajita, so we did some Sandhi Viched there, Chaparajita, so Janardana, Atataina. So tai means bow. One who comes with a stretched bow. What does it mean? Is someone walking towards you with a stretched bow? Let me okay, right? So Prabhupada explains very nicely there are 6 types of atatai, which Prabhupada translates as aggressors. So let's read what Prabhupada writes. Just if you go down, the first line is there. Yes. So what are the 6 kinds of aggressors? We can just read.
Yes. First is a poison giver. Second one is one who sets fire to the house. Third one is one who attacks with deadly weapons. Fourth one is one who plunders riches. Fifth one is one who occupies another's land. And sixth one is one who kidnaps a wife.
So Prabhupada very in the beginning of the verse gives these 6 types of aggressors. So what are these 6 kinds of aggressors? So we understand aggressor is someone who's attacking, and Prabhupada writes there, if you kill these aggressors, one of these categories of aggressors, then there is no pop because he has done something to harm. We should be very clear. These are all external changes. These are all external changes to the body. So when we're talking about we are not the body, we are the soul, we should not work on the level of soul when it's not needed. So when someone is coming and attacking you with a deadly weapon, Prabhu, I'm the soul, I'm not the body. That may be the case with, say, Prahlad Maharaj, but we are not there. So there are certain rules and regulations given, and it says in Manusmriti there are 4 Purushartha, Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. So there are 4 Purusharthas are there, and that is for the body, isn't it? So you do Dharma with the body. We generate some artha, some facility to fulfill your karma. Again, under dharma, not adharma. And then you gain moksha for the soul. So while you are living in this world, Shastra does give you facility to live comfortably as per your mental inclination. That's why the Varnashram system is there. The Sindha Shastra allows you to protect your body as well, because this body is a vehicle by which you will go back to Vishnu. Suppose a president is important, then president car is also important, isn't it? It's a president car. Is what do you call that big car which presidents use? Limousine. That's what you call it. Limousine, the big car. So because this is limousine is president's car, it becomes important because of the relation with the president. Now imagine in our body, all of us sitting here, you can say all devotees are here. We consider our body is a temple of Vishnu. And this body is a Chalta Firtata, it's a moving temple of Vishnu. We are carrying Vishnu in our heart, which is true for all the jivas, but at least devotees realize up to an extent at least that we are carrying Vishnu. This is not our body. This is a temple of Vishnu. And temple of Vishnu is not important. It's important because Lord Vishnu is there inside. So from that perspective, this body is important. And we protect this body whatever we can. So we don't just go and jump into the Agni, Swaha, we don't do that. So when these 6 types of aggressors are explained, we should not get confused. No, this body in that sense is important. There's a vehicle to reach to Lord Vishnu. With this body only you will do seva. If there's no body, you will not do any seva. Shri Parad Prabhu said in a class very nicely, he said, this body represents that we are sinful. So that's the result of our sin. But he said, if you didn't have any karmic account, then you don't have the body. Because body is the result of karma, isn't it? But if you didn't have any karma, like this, you don't have the body. Then how can you do anything? No? So being in the body is important to be able to do seva. No, not for bhoga, we're not talking about bhoga, but for seva, it's important. So body is important in the protection of body. In that perspective is important. You get sick, you go to the doctor. You take appropriate medication, you do whatever you can do. But even after that, if you don't get cured, you say, okay, if that's what Krishna wants, that's what Krishna wants. Krishna wants me to live in this sort of disease situation, that's fine, but you do your best and you don't get resentful attitude after I've been taking medication for 3 years and what Krishna is doing, nothing is working in my life. No, that means you are going out of the track. Everything is working in the life as per Krishna's plan. It says we look at our present and we plan for our future. But Krishna looks at the future and plans for our present. He knows our future. What's good for this kid? So he's looking at future and working backwards. You tell your kid is big now. Better study. Thoda padhai kar lo. It will be good for you in future. Mama, I have to watch that cartoon. I have to play cricket and soccer and whatever. Mama says, no. 2 hours study is important, right? Bacha, the kid doesn't understand his future. How helpful will be this 2 hours study? But parents know the future. Future is based on today's karma. So Krishna knows our future and then he plans our present. No, this thing is not very good for my devotee. Take it out. And you, oh my God, you have taken my cow or whatever attachments. And we cry. No, if we have trust in Krishna, he's looking after us. He will look after us in future as well. Jagannath ji is never going to be admitted in Corona emergency. Huh? Jagannath ji ko bhi Corona ho gaya. Who will look after me? No, he's Jagannath. He's been looking after us. He is looking after us. He will look after us. So there's no situation in our life which is out of his control. It may be out of our control, not out of his control. If we have this trust, we will never have a resentment in our heart because Jagannath knows what's good for me. I am doing what I need to do, what I can do, but what happens to me, that is not in my control. That is in the control of Jagannath. And that's how a devotee is shan. Whatever, Krishna, it's all your mercy. Good comes, thank you, Krishna. Bad comes, thank you, Krishna. We are always trying in that mode. And the more mature we become, more visionary we become more and more peaceful and shant, and our actions are more Krishna conscious rather than what Gaur Gopal Prabhu says, no? Soda water, instant reaction. You throw a little stone and I am ready to throw a huge stone on you, a boulder on you. So we have to understand these aggressors and the protection point. Now, what are these aggressors? So let's describe one by one. Now, it says, Prabhupada explains Duryodhana and the whole party. So Kaurava party had offended Pandavas in all 6 categories. Even if they were in one category, they could get capital punishment. But they have crossed all the marks. Pura tick. Perfect aggressors. Huh? So what are these poison givers? Who will say, how did they break this rule? Or how did they follow this rule rather? Speak loudly for everyone's benefit.
Was given poison to be when he was young.
Yeah, and not only he gave,
Into the river to kill him.
and not after poison he was not satisfied. He bound his hand with the rope and threw it in the Ganga. Pura mar jaya. Complete death he found. So second one, maybe someone else can say, very easy one. One who sets the fire to the house. Pinaki Prabhu was here earlier. Oh, anyone else is okay.
Hare Krishna.
Duryodhana set fire on Lakshya.
Thank you, Divya Shakti Mataji. So Laksha Graha, Varnavan, we know that one who attacks with deadly weapon, maybe now Pinaki Prabhu can say. When did they attack with deadly weapons?
So many times, Prabhu.
Maybe so one example can give.
Even in the last year of their exile.
Yes.
That was one instance. Yeah, so many times they have been.
Yep. In Virat, they came
Yes.
with deadly weapons. The purpose was they recognized Kichak was dead. Bhima Pandavas would be there. We attack and kill him right now. Also, one instance which I heard, I'm just sharing, when Pandavas were exiled, just after that, all the Draupadi incident had happened, and they were just exiled, so they were obviously quite down, emotionally. Any big changes come in our life, we are not very happy, generally speaking. Big changes, I'm not talking positive, negatives here. So Pandavas were quite down. So Duryodhana thought that I will take all the Kaurav army in the forest, I will destroy the Pandav right here. So he had that plan immediately after that, because they will be completely bewildered by this attack. And Duryodhana was not so weak. He was weaker, but not so weak. He was quite strong guy with a full army. And so Vyasadev came to know about the plans of Duryodhana, and Vyasadev personally appeared in front of Duryodhana. He said, "You've already done enough evil to the Pandavas. If you do any more, I will curse you." Now Duryodhana was very obstinate. He was very evil-minded, but he knew the powers of the Brahmanas curse. So he knew if Vyasadev is going to curse me, that's it, finished. So he did not take that step. He was ready to attack Pandavas there as well. And in Virat, as Prabhuji said,
Deadly weapon could be killing the unborn child.
Ashwatthama, yeah, that it happened actually later. But yeah, that's correct, Mataji. Fourth one, who plunders the riches? That's an easy one. I heard Jay Prakash Prabhu was trying to say something earlier.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, I think since the kingdom actually belongs to Pandu Putras, but
Yes.
they have, even though Pandavas were so merciful that they said they just need 5 cities, but still actually it looked like they stole the kingdom from Panduputras.
Yes, thank you, Prabhuji. So they plundered the riches in the gambling match by cheating. And there's a whole story behind it. So they cheated. Even gambling, the gambling itself is wrong, but anyway, within the gambling also they cheated. Shakni was throwing the dice, it was Duryodhana's money. It says, technically, whoever throws the dice, the money should belong to him, technically speaking. So they cheated. So they hired some professional dicer to throw the dice. So that was wrong. Even within gambling, I'm saying, within gambling, gambling itself was a big story. Within gambling also they cheated. So they hired a professional, like I hire someone, to do some, some bad things, some professional killer or something like that. No, sir. In gambling, the rule is, if you are staking your wealth, you should be throwing the dice. Now, Duryodhana didn't have any ability to do this gambling. That's certainly, but Duryodhana had the money. They were cheating. And actually, Yudhishthira says in Mahabharata did raise this point. Duryodhana is your money. You should throw the dice. Yudhishthira was doing that. Yudhishthira was not also expert, but Yudhishthira was throwing the dice and staking as well. Duryodhana was not doing it. So that was a clear cheating. Cheating within cheating. Cheating is square. What is square? I don't know how many powers of cheating. Okay, plunders riches. Fifth one who occupies another's land. As Jayaprakash Prabhu mentioned, his father's kingdom was there. Dhritarashtra was made a caretaker for some time. The time was not mentioned, but he was a caretaker. Bandu actually worked very hard to increase the size of the kingdom. He went around, he defeated kings, and he increased. It was his kingdom. Then he said, I'm going to go to forest. You please look after for some time. But obviously the time was not that. He thought, how great it is. Let me be the king forever. If not me, my son. That plunders the riches. But even the original land belonged to Pandu. And it should come to his son. When his sons come back, Imandari says, his honesty, take it. Unless you refuse it, that's fine. But they wanted it. Give to them. Deserted area. And acha mere liye, kharab tumhare liye. Good for me, bad for you. Okay, sixth one, the last one, who kidnaps a wife. Who can say? Someone online? Priya Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Mohit.
During the gambling game, they basically kidnapped Draupadi without her permission. So that could be a kidnapping, because without her permission, they were taken to the court.
Yes, thank you, Prabhuji. And there's another instance as well. Draupadi was physically kidnapped as well by Jayadratha in the forest. Physically kidnapped. They got her back pretty quickly, but physical kidnapping, and Jayadratha was present in the party. So thank you, Prabhu. Okay. Let's go up. So these are the 6 aggressors which we discussed. As for Prabhupada. So basically they are saying, even if we kill it, so Arjun is very clear, they are Atatai. Arjun is declaring they are Atatai, they are aggressors, they can be killed. But now he's overwhelmed with the emotions because he's confused with Satya Dharma and Kula Dharma. Kula Dharma means I need to protect my family. That's the Dharma, that's correct. But now he's acting as a Kshatriya. And Kshatriya's duty is to not support the aggressors. Like if I am a king, my son is doing something wrong. What's my duty? My son is doing something wrong, I need to punish. My son is related to me, or my brother is related to me. If I protect my brother in his wrongdoings, do I not also become a sinful person? Because I'm the king. My duty is kingly first, and then saving my family. So Arjun is a little confused there, but it's quite clear. They're aggressors. And that's why actually Krishna said, no, you kill them. You kill Karna, you kill Dronacharya, you kill Bhishma Pitama, because they are in that party. There were many external reasons. Tasman Naraha Vayam Hantum Bharat Rashran Sabadma. So I don't want to kill them. Swajanam. Again Swajanam. See, repeatedly this word is coming. He's sort of telling Krishna, he's emotionally blackmailing Krishna. Swajan Bhai, Swajan Bhai, Swajan Bhai. But Krishna is God. He knows. So now last word, Madhava. Now this is the second repeat in this chapter. What does Madhava mean? We have already read it. Husband of the goddess. And what does fortune mean? Good things. We talk about lottery lag jaye, and may I get a lottery or something. Good fortune. Good fortune means which brings good to me. But killing them will bring bad. me. So you are Madhav. You are the husband of the goddess of fortune. You should bring fortune to me. Why are you bringing unfortune to me? So again, like Krishna, telling Krishna, you are Madhav. You are Madhav. You are Madhav. There's my Sojan. You understand the point? Very nice. Okay. So this killing will not give me sukha. You are Madhav, so you bring something, fortunate for me. Next. Sure.
Just to explain. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha.
Yeah.
So Dharma is religion. Artha means
Facility to fulfill your kama. But this kama which we are talking is dharma avriddha kameshu bhutoshu bhartarshava. So that kama, kamana, desire which we are talking is within religion realm, not irreligious desires. So in Vedic culture, 4 purusharthas are given. So you do dharma, and with the dharma, like you go in with honest means, you earn a livelihood, and you bring that money to your house. So that's a facility given, money or power, and then with the money, you buy a few things for your house. So dharma, artha, and kama. But what it should lead to? Moksha. So you fulfill your desire within dharmic realm in such a way that leads to moksha. Now in current society, I should rather say, little earlier society, dharma, artha, kam was there, moksha was cut off for some time, and now dharma is also getting cut off. People want to earn by hook or crook to fulfill their desire. Now artha and kama is there. Artha means if you are a big political leader, I have friendship with you, I bribe you. It's also artha. Artha means facility. You facilitate me to fulfill my kama. Right? So previously, people used to facilitate their kama through dharma. If there's a problem in their life, they will say, oh, I have done a lot of pap, I think, and that's why I should do punya. You see in Bhagavatam, Yashoda Maya, as soon as a calamity come, a demon come, after that, Yashoda Maya is giving donation to Brahmanas, worshipping Lord Narayan. Oh Lord Narayan, please, very nice, huh? You saved me, save my son, and do this, do that. So lot of adjustments were done in a karmic way. Now adjustments are done in a hidden way. If the camera is not watching, I can do anything. Camera is not there. I can just fool the computer screen. That's anything I can do. And if I not get caught, that's my success. Your bad luck, my good luck. And there's so many examples around us. So dharma is lost. Moksha is not even heard of this word. Artha, kama, artha, the whole word. That's why it's just destroyed. There's no mool, there's no end. There's no dharma, there's no moksha. So the whole world is just lost in the madness. Guru Maharaj, it's a mad word because there's no origin to it. It's just your desires are coming and just trying to fulfill your desire. You have to kill, you have to pull someone down. Just do it. It doesn't matter.
The second question is, if you say dharma, artha, kama, moksha,
yes,
and that is what the human life is for, right?
In general Vedic realm, not as a devotee. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave us Pancham Purushartha, Prema Kumartho Mahan. Pancham Purushartha. You, as a devotee, has a Pancham Purushartha to achieve, which is Krishna Prema. You have to achieve Krishna Prema. That is Pancham Purushartha. So you, Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha, for example, you live your life with your family and with your honest livelihood, whatever you are doing. That's all right. You can have a car, you can have a house. That's Kama, with honest Artha.
So that means dharma, artha, kama, moksha is a part of karma.
In one sense, yes, because you're getting moksha. But it's not on the devotional side. No. Exactly. Our devotion dharma is attached with Krishna. Gopiyas are becoming adharmic, so-called adharmic for the sake of Krishna. Sarv dharma parityaja. Dharma, they parityag dharma for the sake of Krishna. So if you have to parityag dharma for the sake of Krishna, you're allowed. Artha, same thing. Kama, same thing. Krishna is there. Kama is very nice. You can, Bhakti Thakur says, we can have 100 kids, no problem. We want 100 kids. We want more Krishna devotees. But what sort of kids we want? Who are devotees of the Lord. That's Kama. But that Kama is relating with Krishna. Same with Artha. You want to earn a livelihood which is more Krishna conscious. So if you want to work in a butcher house, a devotee doesn't want to work in a butcher house. But you're honest, Prabhu. You're working 7 to 8, you're getting X number of dollars. But no, I don't want to work here. It's not aligned with my philosophy. So you work somewhere else where it's more devotionally aligned. So everything for us is aligned with Krishna. And it may be against the normal social means. We don't care. We don't care. But generally, it's aligned. Krishna has done it this way. But if some situations are misaligned, no problem. Krishna is asking Yudhishthira, you lie. Yudhishthira hesitating. That's the dharma. Huh? But Yudhishthira is following dharma, Prabhu. Yes, Yudhishthira is following dharma, normal mundane dharma. But Krishna is the writer, the author of dharma. Dharmam tu sakshat bhagavad pranitam. Huh? Whatever Krishna says, that's dharma. Now Krishna is saying you lie. If you hesitate, that's the problem. So this is a normal dharma and paradharma.
With this 6 aggressor, is it how the feeling is that Krishna's fate? Is it what the Prabhupada says? If anyone has any one of the same, so is it?
Now you may not be the best person to kill now, but we are all thinking our past. Usne aisa kiya, usne aisa kiya. Yeah. So there's a rule and there's an implementation of the rule. You understand? Huh? So if something happened, you go to a judge and say, Judge, this person has done something. Judge will take the appropriate decision and then give you punishment or the reward based on whatever the law is, right? Now you cannot say, but Judge, he has done it. Shuru ho gaya, sadak pe kinare pe. So that won't work. So you may not be the implementer. Here, he is the implementer as well. So there's a law and there's an implementer of the law. You may be the same person, you may be different. Arjun is in that situation. We are not. Devotee is always, trying to mold it in that way. But you got the point. Huh? Okay, let's move forward. What's the time? 6:16. We have done 6 verses. Okay, I think I will stop here. I'm trying to contain the class till 4:15 to 6:15. Then we can have a few questions, and then I think we'll finish that. So we lost 15 minutes this week. That's all right. It's just some technical issues out of our control. It's all right. So if anyone has any questions or comments, we'll take that now. Everyone is happy. Okay, anyone here? Wow, that's very nice. So, very, very high quality devotees. If there is no questions, then maybe we can do one verse, isn't it? I thought, we'll take 10 minutes for questions, but there is no questions. So we'll do just this verse. Huh? No one is. Sumit Prabhu, anyone, anything? All good?
Nothing from online.
Hari bol. Are they understanding everything or nothing goes in their mind? Only 2 possibilities are there. I hope Pinaki Prabhu is not the second one. Okay, I hope. But if you have questions, you can always ask later. So this is not the last time we are meeting. Hopefully, Krishna allows, we'll meet again. So if I forget something, you want to add something, please write it and we can discuss next time. Let's do one more verse and then we'll finish the class. Who will read some?
I can read.
Want to offer to read? Hare
Yeah,
Krishna.
I can. Yeah. Yadyapi etena pashyanti labho pahata chetasaha kulakshaya kritam dosam mitra drohe chapatakam katham nagneyam ashmabhi papad ashman nivartitum kulakshaya kritam dosam prapashyadbhir janardhana. Translation. O Janardhana, although these men, their hearts overtaken by greed, see no fault in killing one's family or quarreling with friends, why should we, who can see the crime in destroying a family, engage in these acts of sin?
So here we see another argument of Krishna, destruction of the family traditions, which is one of the arguments which we read earlier. So yadyapete napashyanti lobho apahata chetasaha. So this word is very nice. Napashyanti. So this party, the other party, napashyanti, they are not able to see. Why they are not able to see? Lobha, because of greed. Apahata chetasaha. So in Hindi there's a word called apaharan. this Sanskrit word aparat is there. Chetasa, chesa means chitta. So sometimes we say, "Aapka jamir mar gaya hai kya?" Your consciousness is sort of died. What you are doing, do you see how harmful it is for you or for other people? So Arjuna is sort of in that situation. Their consciousness is being apaharan, is being kidnapped by what? Lobha. So our consciousness should not be apaharan, kidnapped by, again, you can say any one of the illusory activities, Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Mad, Matsar. So it can be, some people become very lusty, and in that mode, they do many bad things. They are all good, but at this one time, some overwhelming emotions come and they do something very wrong. Anger sometimes overwhelms the people. Nice person, but you get the news that he killed someone. Every time goes over that anger movement. So here, what Arjuna is trying about the other party, apaharita chetasaha. Their chetasa, their chitta, their it's a simple thing. Radhanath Maharaj said in one of the classes, common sense is the most uncommon thing in the world today. Common sense is the most uncommon thing in the world today. Like, come on, how can you do that? You're loving dogs so much, you're killing, 10,000 cows every day. You love your dog and you have your pet insurance as well. There was one lady working with me many years ago. I was at Vodafone, and this lady was just sharing simple things. She was very sort of morose. She said, I'm completely broke because of my dog. She didn't have the insurance. She had to spend thousands of dollars in her dog's therapy, something. Dental insurance, dog ka. Sorry, so Rupal Prabhu was just sharing, we also have dental insurance for dog. So I'm a human, I don't have dental insurance. Oh, Krishna. So anyway, so different degrees of madness you can see around the world, which looks so simple, but they have, dog grooming thing as well. And I heard they have dogs, what do you call, child care as well, dog care. I heard, not grooming, child care. When the husband wife goes to work, the child care for the dogs, and humans are, petting the dog. You must be paying $100 a day or something for dogs. Oh, holiday vacation for dogs. Huh? Wow. Good business. Huh?
He used to have one, and that dog passed away, so she's now trying to get another one, but she can't get it because RSPCA, they say they assessed her case and she works too much. She doesn't have anybody at home. So therefore she can't look after the dog, and she doesn't have a big backyard. So according to all the criteria, she does not fit to get a dog which is abandoned by other people. So
even she can't get that.
She can't get that dog which is abandoned by other people. She can't even get that because of that criteria.
Very to get a dog. Wow. Thank you. What a world we are living in, huh? What a world. And when they kill thousands and thousands of cows in a big slaughterhouses, no one bothers. It's just normal. Anyway, so we understand the point, what Arjuna is trying to, a very valid point. Their consciousness is destroyed or sort of abducted by Lobha. Lobha is greed. The result is sort of very obstinate in killing everyone, so much bloodshed he's happy to do just to get some Rajya. But saying, so they're not able to see. But we are able to see that. Huh? We are able to see that. So what we are able to see, what we are able to see, like, okay, if two brothers are fighting on that, if he's mad, I should not be mad. I should become more mature. So if two devotees are having some disagreements, then what a guru will say, Are Baba, you become more mature. You become more mature if another person is not mature. Right? Many times that's a resolution. He's not listening. But Indra and Prathu Maharaj is sort of having some disagreement. Brahmaji comes to Prathu Maharaj. Who is doing the mistake? Indra is doing the mistake. But who's winning the council? Prathu Maharaj. Right? He is doing the mistake. You're not chastising that boy. He is not going to listen anyway. Father also says sometimes, oh, pagal hai. He's a mad person. He doesn't understand. You are elder, you should understand, you should be responsible. So many times, in our movement as well, this is the resolution. You become big, another person is small, no problem, you become big, okay. So that's fine, you're right, that's fine. The Guru Maharaj says nicely, sometimes it's not worth being right. It's not worth being right. You are right. All the Shastra will say what you are doing is correct, but it's not worth being right. Because, if you are just trying to prove yourself right, yes, I'm right, yes, you are right, but it's not worth being right because you burnt something else, which is of a major value. So, visionary, a devotee is very visionary. He's just not coming on that emotions. He's not immediately responding. Ghanshyam Prabhu was speaking to him for something, and he was saying, we need to choose when to respond. We need to choose when to respond. We just don't respond. Everything is thrown to you, just respond. No, you choose when to respond. Many times, no response is also a response. The devotee chooses when to respond, not that everything is thrown in your plate, you have to respond. No, you don't have to. And you choose not to respond. And that's the response. That my response is no response. And many times that works. You just, no, I have to tell him, he is wrong. Okay. You face the consequences. So Arjuna is saying, in that sense, very right thing. If they are not able to see, we are able to see. What we are able to see, Kulashaya Kritam Dosham. So we get dosha, we get fault of destroying the family. Kulashaya. Kul is the family, Shaya is the structure of the family. Mitra Doha Chapatakam. And Mitra Doha. Mitra here refers to cousin brothers. So cousin brothers should be living in a very maitri, in a friendly way. So Mitra Drohe. Now we are going against that friendliness, which should have been there amongst us. We are cousin brother, we should be friendly to each other, brotherly to each other. But he is sort of destroying that. He's destroying the family. He is not able to see because his eyes are taken by greed. And we see in Hindi movies, someone, I need to get, $10 million. If 10,000 people die, I don't care. They become completely senseless. How can you just get that money? So, Katam Nagayam Asmami Papa Tasmani Vartitum Kul Shekatam Dosham Siddhivir Janardana. Hey Janardhan, you please protect. That's what he's saying. Okay, we'll stop here. If there's any questions on this, we will take it next time. Okay. Now, one announcement before we go. Next Sunday, we have a great festival of Ram Navami in the temple. So all of you, welcome. If you are in Sydney, even if you are far, please come to take mercy of Lord Ram. And Saturday, we are having a lot of seva in the temple. If you have time, please come. Saturday, whole day, anytime you can come for any number of hours.